Find all the real zeros of the function. Okay, so let's look at the constant term and the leading coefficient. And the way this is supposed to work is the rational zeros are supposed to be factors of -8 in this case, divided by factors of the leading coefficient of 2. And the factors of -8, and they could be positive or negative, could be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 8, and then divided by factors of 2, which are plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2. So let me go ahead and list all the possible factors. I'm going to do the divided by 1 situation first. So we could have plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 8. And then the divided by 2 situation could be plus or minus 1/2. And then plus or minus 2 over 2, we already did that because that's 1. Plus or minus 4 over 2, well that's 2. Plus or minus 8 over 2, well that's 4. All those are already covered. So here's a list of all the possible rational zeros. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the graphing calculator. I'm going to graph the polynomial function and then see if we can tell more accurately what these zeros could be. I mean, we could use synthetic division to try every single zero, but that would take a long time. So this way would probably be a little faster. So I'm going to enter y equals, then it's going to be 2x to the 4th power minus 11x to the 3rd power plus 9x to the 2nd power plus 14x and then minus 8. We hit the graph button. Okay, now it looks like it comes down, up, like that. Now looking at the possible zeros here, it looks like it could be a -1, a 1/2, a 1.5, or 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to hit the table feature, second and then table, which is F5. Now look at that, it was 2, 0, and 4, 0. So it looks like those two are pretty definite. So let's divide out the 4 and the 2 and then see what's left over. So we'll divide out the 2 first, and here are the coefficients: 2, -11, 9, 14, -8. Bring down the 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and then add to get -7. -7 times 2 is -14, add to get -5. -5 times 2 is -10, and then add 14, and then plus the -10, that's 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and then add to get 0. So 2 is in fact a 0, and then we're going to divide out the 4. Now here's a common error that students tend to make. Students tend to go back to this original division problem of this polynomial here and then divide out the 4. But what you want to do is you want to build off the division problem you already did. See, we divided out x minus 2 right here. And so what we want to do is we want to continue dividing to continue to factor the polynomial. So based off these coefficients, I'm going to do the 4 for the 0, which is like dividing out x minus 4. Okay, so bring down the 2. 2 times 4 is 8, add to get 1. 1 times 4 is 4, add to get -1. -1 times 4 is -4, add to get 0. So in fact 4 is another 0. And then this is x squared, x, the 1's, and the remainder. So we're going to have 2x squared plus x and then minus 1 left over. I want to see if that can be factored. If not, because we're finding the real zeros, we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. So let's see, 2 times 1 is -2. And we want factors of -2 that add to +1, but that would be 2 and -1. So this is going to be 2x squared plus 2x minus x minus 1. And the first two terms you can take out a 2x, and that leaves an x plus 1. For the second two terms, take out a -1, and that leaves x plus 1. So factored, it's 2x minus 1 and then times x plus 1. So 2x minus 1 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, and x equals 1/2, x equals -1. So now you have all the zeros. We're going to list them in increasing order. There's x equals -1, 1/2, 2, and 4. And you know, there is another possibility. Solving from right here, this 2, 1, -1, looking at the calculator, we had guesses of zeros being at -1 and positive 1/2. You could have continued this synthetic division all the way down and divided out every single zero. But I like to go for the quadratic right here because there are more methods for solving the quadratic. You can use a quadratic formula if needed, and you can't use that from the calculator. All right, so here are your answers.